welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Campbell.
Do you ever think that your ultra upbeat enthusiasm right at the beginning is too much for some people?
Yeah, and they're like, ugh.
Like, what if they listen to this first thing in the morning and there's kind of like a funky little chill beat?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And then it just comes in with, hello! Like, you know, ear pierce.
yeah.
I mean, that didn't help what I just did.
Yeah, that just made it worse, if anything, I think.
But I think we mellow out real quick. It goes, hello, welcome, and here's Michael Campbell. And then from then on, it's pretty much this level.
And then it's downhill from there, if anything.
But what I'm saying is, if this is your first episode and that did, oh my God, that shock.
Yeah.
You about the level we are now,
Yep.
you're going to be here for about the next hour.
It's fine. Right about here.
Yeah, right until the theme of podnapping kicks in.
Yeah. Then it ramps back up again.
Blaring sirens and screaming.
Also, if you were offended by that, something else, and you're a new listener, something else that you should know is that we don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I specifically don't. I don't care for you or anything in your life.
People say apathy will get you nowhere.
Yeah.
It's got us over 240 episodes, so
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's got us everywhere.
There's something to it.
Gump.
Yep.
Should we just get into it?
Okay, yeah.
Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Listeners should know I'm feeling a little bit sick at the moment, which, by the way, is the worst. I hate being sick post-pandemic. Pre-pandemic, I was like, great, couple of days off. Feel great.
There's never been more of a social stigma around being sick.
Like, I just don't want to. I feel awkward going to the shops because they're like, he's sick. Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I don't.
The one attitude that's changed the most, I think, is the attitude of, I'm a bit sick, but I'll stay at work.
Yeah.
I feel like traditionally 2019 and previous, you're a bit sick and everyone's like, oh, well, that sucks. But, maybe, try and get a little bit done or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's like, go home immediately.
Yeah.
And don't you dare come in
Yeah.
until you're better.
See, I don't think my work would be like that, which it sucks.
Yeah,
It's dumb.
You work for a very stringent organization.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It is. Anyway. All right. Let's get into this. This first one was actually an Ask Reddit. And Cambo, don't worry, I've never done this before. This will be the first and last time that I do an Ask Reddit for the start of our podcast. Okay?
Because it's going to get to the point where we just start with Ask Reddit.
Yeah.
And forego the Reddit on Reddit segment.
Yeah. No, but this is the
I look forward to
first
seeing
and
how
last
this.
time.
I look forward to seeing how this is different to the other Ask Reddits coming up.
Yeah. Okay, so this is by Mr. Cool Ice. And they asked, what do you consider to be the biggest scam that is completely normalized by society?
Okay, well, the one that sprung most immediately to mind,
Okay.
and I wonder whether this has been a popular one in the comments, is like traditional gym memberships.
Yeah.
They're so cloak and dagger about any terms and conditions and cancellation methods.
Yeah.
To keep you there as long as they can, even if you're not using facilities.
Yeah. It's so insane.
Yeah.
It's like there's just no cancellation policy. That's how you get them.
Yeah.
How do I cancel?
We
we didn't write that into the rules of signing up.
You'll notice it is a cheaper weekly rate compared to other gyms.
Yeah. For the rest of your life.
Yeah, for the rest of your life,
because you
obviously.
can't cancel. That would actually be great. Do you reckon we could start a business where it's like a gym membership costs $1, but you can't cancel. You absolutely cannot cancel.
So you have to do the maths being like, eventually I'll spend, I guess, $5,000 or whatever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Like $1 a month.
Yeah, so it's $365 a year. Oh, God, that adds up over a lifetime, doesn't it?
I reckon you'd get enough people. And the funny thing is that if it became so popular, people are like, this is genius. I can willingly spend $1 a month, and hey, if I don't end up spending it, whatever, it's only $12. But then the gym becomes so crowded that people don't want to go anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not really you don't really have to accommodate for all the people that have signed up to your gym.
Would you? I'm also a sucker for bulk things, so I think it should be $1 a month or $10 a year.
Oh, yeah, that's
then I'll be
pretty
like,
good.
but I'll be saving $2 a year.
Yeah.
And even though it's only $2 a year, and if I know I can't cancel,
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Sign up.
we would be one of the answers to this question.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
blatantly a scam, but everyone seems to accept it. This weird gym that you can't cancel.
Do you reckon people would be upset about it? Because like it's so obvious that people know what you do. Like I think we're upfront with.
I think
you
we should be
can't
upfront.
cancel.
It's on the wall of the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
No cancellations.
No, it's called the no cancellation gym. That's the name of our gym.
And I think that we can even spin this in a PR way to be like, well, this gym is all about commitment. And that's what you need for fitness. You need to commit.
Yeah, yeah.
And you will be committing financially
Yeah.
for the rest of your life.
The rest of your life. Here's how we really get them again. It doesn't even cancel after your death.
Yeah.
Your next of kin picks up the bill.
I think once you die, it can be cancelled. Mm-hmm. I think legally we'll run into some, but they need to cancel it.
Yeah.
Your
Have
next
to
of
show up
kin-
in person.
Yeah, that it's a regular cancellation of a gym membership where you come in, we go, are you sure you're not going to get any benefits of it now? Pretty sure they're dead.
Yeah.
What if we discounted it 50 cents a month?
Yeah, yeah. That's a pretty low deal.
Shake my hand right now. That deal's not going to hang around long.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Or you can roll over your membership to somebody else
Okay.
after you've died.
Yep.
Still can't cancel. But it can transfer.
It becomes a lineage thing.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. Some old man on his deathbed, in the scenario that you can cancel after they're dead, is like in the last dying breath. They say, "Remember to cancel the membership."
Oh, it's like, come over here. Come. Here's my swipe pass for the gym. You're gonna need it to access the equipment.
I've spent over $300. Somebody better put it to good use.
I haven't been in years.
Because it's really not that much money. You're only spending a few $100 a lifetime.
Yeah.
Why not sign up?
Yeah.
Do it now.
And if we get enough people to sign up,
Yeah.
it doesn't cost that much over the course of a lifetime for you, and we'll be incredibly rich.
We'll be incredibly rich. Think about that.
Yeah. Apart from our revolutionary gym idea, and by the way, don't steal our idea for the new listeners. That's a blanket rule of the show.
Don't steal our ideas.
If we see a no cancellation in your lifetime gym pop up, oh boy, you better believe. I mean, we won't sue you. Obviously, we don't have the time.
No,
but we'll
far
be
too lazy.
We'll be passive aggressive about
Be
it.
angry. We just be so angry.
Can you think of another example of something that you think is definitely a scam that the world has just accepted?
Not really. That's why I was going to go through some people's comments.
The other one that I thought of.
No, I just thought of one.
Okay.
This was probably the biggest scam I've come across in, I want to say, the last decade. I got some Pringles. Okay. And on the top, it said, brand new shape. I was like, oh, they've changed the shape of Pringles.
The iconic saddle shape.
Yeah, this is going to blow my mind. This is incredible. My mind raced as to thinking about what type of shape these new Pringles could be. I open it up.
I like that you can go through a whole workday with that really stimulating your brain. But as soon as someone's like, do you know Pringles have changed shape? Yeah. Suddenly.
Oh my God. Yeah, you become Rain Man. But I open them up. They're exactly the same shape, but I want to say probably only 2/3 the size. It's like, you just made it small. That's not changing the shape.
Technically, I guess.
But
It's
like,
a
what
great
scam to make people like. I can't imagine the marketing person that was like, oh, the company was like, look, we actually need to make more money, and we're going to do that by saving money by putting less in a packet. And some marketing person was like, I have this genius idea.
Yeah.
I will convince every person that we're just changing the shape, and it's not about reducing the amount that we're putting in a packet.
I think it is. I think it is a very clever marketing thing, in that I think that if they have reduced the amount of Pringle per chip, they probably were obligated in some way to tell people. And they're like, well, we need to tell people how we're going to do it. And someone's like, we could just tell them that we change the shape.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, see,
that technically we're declaring that these will be different.
Well, see, I just imagined that you're not obligated to tell people, I would think. And so to me, that's even more dumb that they've like pointed it out.
Yeah. Well, I was assuming that there must have been something in, even if it's just
legal,
even if it's just like a corporate ethics thing from the company or something like that.
Here's the thing, put it in small print.
Yeah. At the bottom of the tin.
At the bottom of the tin. Nobody's going to look there. You can even say brand new shape.
If I'm looking at the bottom of a tin, it's too late. I've probably brought the item.
Yeah.
At that point, you got me.
Yeah. One way or another, I'm going to notice there's less Pringle. Okay. So just like, don't say anything about it. Don't try to sell it as like, it's like they were selling it like, oh, it's this great new thing now. It's not. You freaking idiot.
The other one I want to point out, this isn't something that the whole world accepts. And I'm afraid, look, we have a lot of American listeners, and God knows we love them.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a lot
of... sounds like, but...
I have a lot of love for the country of America.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want to put that on front street.
I don't. I hate them.
But I think that their medical system is a huge scam. And look, obviously... Hazem, one of our listeners, so I'm open to his perspective. I'm sure he will probably tell us in the ways that we're wrong. But the way that it is completely monopolized by huge corporations that charge so much for all the drugs, and a lot of people, even in, if you have a fairly decent job, you probably have some kind of insurance.
Yeah.
But if you live below a certain line, you just don't have insurance, and a lot of things go untreated. And that... Very few other countries in the world operate in that way. But I think a lot of Americans are convinced that's quite normal.
Yeah.
And we're just here to tell you that it's not.
It's a scam.
Yeah. It's a huge scam.
It's a scam.
I have only paid for medical stuff a handful of times in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And all of it is like the stuff I paid for has been like it's not a completely necessary thing. It'll be something that it's like, oh, maybe I'll get whatever removed, or like it's completely arbitrary stuff. And they're like, all right, well, you pay for that.
Yeah. I'm more likely to pay for recreational drugs than I am regular medicine.
But like, if I was going to get my teeth whitened, completely arbiary. Don't need it done.
Yeah.
So you pay for that. Everything else, medically, you're more or less covered for.
Do you know what I thought was really good? Just by the way, this is slightly off topic, but slightly on topic. That if you want to get a sex change in Australia, that's actually covered under Medicare.
Really?
You still need to have seen a psychologist and whatever, but I don't imagine anyone wanting to get a sex change without actually needing it. So I think that's just an arbitrary thing that you have to go through.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really
that
amazing.
Is very surprising given our current government.
I reckon it must have been something.
It must have been in before
years ago. That like somebody was like, should we cover this? And they're like, yeah, why not? And then
that'll never become much of a social issue.
Yeah. And now it's become such a big thing. I reckon.
That's because our current prime minister is quite an evangelical, religious person, and that's very surprising.
Yeah,
but I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm all for it.
Should I go through some of the other ones?
Yeah, just quickly maybe. Give us one or two.
Golf the Magnificent, the easy to join, difficult to cancel subscription model. Been through it, mate.
Come on, Golf.
Just to keep up. Just to jump to the left. Said detox drinks. Actually, the whole detox diet, juice cleansing.
Yeah, we've known too many intelligent people that have done juice cleanses.
Absolutely bullshit. Not anymore. Once they told me they were doing a juice cleanse, I was like, I thought we were intelligent. Apparently, not anymore. There is like no benefits to doing this other than making yourself feel horrible.
Look, we don't have all the research on it. So if there are benefits, they're certainly not to the extent that any of these juice cleanses are claiming.
Yeah. the negatives outweigh the positives.
Maybe it's like, it's good for digestion, so you'll go to the bathroom more, and that is probably good for gut health or whatever.
Maybe.
But it probably won't solve a lot of your weight issues.
Do you know some of the best advice though that I got when I was doing my personal training course? Just a bit of a flex there. I'm actually a qualified personal trainer.
Yeah. Flex because of the muscles.
Yeah, because of the muscles. They said this wasn't about detox things or anything, but they said you should never drink anything that you can eat. And the idea of that,
you don't get the fiber.
You don't get a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
You also probably get, particularly with juices, you get way more sugar than you normally would. You know, like one glass of orange juice is like fucking 5 oranges.
Yeah.
It's like that's
It's all of the sugar.
Yeah.
All of the sugar of 5 oranges with none of the fiber and the goodness that comes with the orange.
Yeah.
Question. Technically speaking, do you eat ice or do you suck on ice, therefore it's a drink? Because if you can eat ice, you shouldn't be drinking water.
Don't drink water.
Yeah.
Don't ever drink water.
That's coming from a personal trainer.
Ice.
But at the end of the gym, we got big buckets full of ice. Dig in, fellas.
Yeah. Quickly before it melts. Okay, here's another one. Your Playboy said Ticketmaster. Fuck Ticketmaster.
Oh, yeah, fuck Ticketmaster, for sure. Online handling fees in general. Now, here's the thing. I understand the very basics of online handling fees, being that sites that don't run ads in particular. There's like an upkeep to a website.
Yeah.
So if you add a small fee, that covers the upkeep of the website, keeps the ads off it.
Yeah.
I understand that. Any online ticketing handling fee more than $1 can get fucked. Even $1 is probably too much, but I understand it's a round number. You know what I mean?
I see. My opinion is,
Run ads.
well, no, just up the price of your product by $1.
Yeah, by $1. Yeah.
No one needs to know. Hey, go to this site. Their stuff is $1 more expensive, but you don't have to pay an online fee. I'll be like, I'm there. That's a great idea.
Do you ever fall for that thing of like, you'll find an item on 2 different websites. One is cheaper, but you have to pay shipping. And one is more expensive and you don't pay shipping.
Yeah.
And they're probably the same when you even out, but you go for free shipping.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
It's like definitely written into the marketing handbook now,
for sure.
of like, if you've got a product, say free shipping and just charge more because that's what people look for. All right, we should probably move on. Let's get into Ask Reddit.
Oh, this will be different.
Ask Reddit. This Ask Reddit is by eMeister26. And they say, what is... okay, look, this whole time I've been trying to think of how I can rephrase it so it doesn't sound like an Ask Reddit, but also gets to the point. And you know what? I've come up with nothing.
The thin veil you put up is collapsed.
Turns out it's really hard to like ask a question in a way that's not a question, but also
say it with no inflection.
Yeah. What is something that sounds futuristic but is happening now?
That's not bad. It sounded like a statement.
Yeah.
Sounds futuristic, but it's happening right now.
Yes.
Well, I think that we should think of what we thought of the future like when we were kids.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I would say the problem with this is that we both saw Back to the Future 2 as kids. And that future was promised to us. And it was not delivered.
Cannot wait for flying cars and hoverboard.
Yes, which, by the way, due 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 2015. They went to go.
Yeah. So
in that way, huge letdown.
A gigantic letdown. What a waste of time this whole years have been leading up to this point. I was really nervous the year before we were meant to be getting to Back to the Future because I was like, it doesn't look like we're anywhere close to flying cars, but it was promised.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was very disappointing.
But even just, I would say, the thing is, like, things are so gradual that you don't realize the amazement of them. I'm more of an Apple person than you, so maybe you've noticed this less. But the way that the Apple ecosystem has evolved, that everything all connects and talks to one another.
Yeah.
Honestly, 10, 15 years ago, if you had shown anyone that,
in one foul swoop,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I had a file on my laptop. I literally just slid it over and it arrived on my phone. Like just little things like that. We didn't have to connect anything. You did like everything. I unlock things with my watch. If I'm buying a thing, it says, "Oh, confirm it on your watch so we know it's you." Bam, it's done. It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Just little things like that have slowly come in, update after update after update after update. So none of them I was necessarily that impressed with because I'm like, oh yeah, that's I suppose a logical progression of what this was. But if you think of it from even like before iPhone, like there was no touchscreen smartphone that was mass consumed.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean that's like a big one I think in general, which is the obvious one, which is like, well, touchscreen phones and just the like I always think of the example about, you know, the computers they used in NASA to send, you know, a man to walk on the moon was less powerful than the phone that we've all got in our pockets. Like that's
yet we haven't sent anyone to the moon.
Well, actually I did once. Yeah.
He could not breathe.
Yeah, he died.
He died before he got there. He died when he left orbit.
Turns out it's not
Froze to death.
just about sending someone up there. Like there's a lot of other science involved. Yeah.
The irony is you didn't even use your phone once. You strapped him to a big old rocket.
Yeah, exactly. I bought a lot of firecrackers and strapped them to his feet.
He's up there.
Yeah. Parts of him anyway. Yeah. But yeah, what I find sort of amazing, I think, is the learning capabilities of computers in general. I was just even got shown something the other day, which was about how machines that are in airports that have X-ray people's bags. There's machine learning being put into those so it can identify potentially harmful, objects or whatnot. And that's like such a simple concept, but something that really, if you think about it 10 years ago or whatever, or even before, it's like, what an insane idea that you could get a machine to look at an image and then identify what it is, and probably more accurately than a human, maybe not quite. I'm not sure what it's like at the moment, but to me, that is amazing. And in fact, that technology probably being used in a more interesting way is the self-driving cars we talk about. Like that idea of it's not just about a car being able to accelerate and brake. It has to constantly take in information as it's driving along. And I know I've spoken about it on the podcast before. But I remember seeing this one video where a car with this, auto driving technology, whatever, sensed an accident that was like 2 cars ahead of it. I was like, that's insane. Yeah. We've now created something, and I know they're not perfect at the moment, but we've very close and have in some ways created a system that surpasses humans in that, idea of sort of automobile safety and like getting to the next level where it can identify these things way better than a human. Like I imagine in many years to come, there will be like a law passed that's like,
don't drive.
You can't drive. It'll be illegal to drive unless you're on a closed circuit.
Like professional race car driving.
Something
and then
like that
skill will be even more impressive.
Yeah, that's right. Then they're just all in automatics.
Do you
no one's
think
in a manual.
It'll get to the point where when we're senior citizens, it will be so quaint that we have driver's licenses.
Yeah, maybe. That's true. I do kind of wonder.
Think of it like house phones.
Yeah.
Our generation don't have house phones because, what? They're now kind of an outdated system. We can send people to the moon with our phones.
Yeah. That's right.
And maybe driver's license will be the same. Like older people hang on to them because they're like, this is how I've always done it, and goddamn will I not change.
Yeah. It is hard to say. Like, that seems such like a huge change. And I don't know. It'd be interesting if it does happen in our lifetime. And I think that's what, like, that kind of excites me about the future, right? Is like, what technology is going to come in that's going to fundamentally change the way we are.
The best version of this is that cars are electric and they drive themselves, right?
Yeah.
That's like the utopian version of this.
Yeah.
And you think, well, everyone should be maybe striving towards that direction. And the depressing thing is, that there'll be so many corporations that will fight that tooth and nail because it will disrupt what they're doing, even if it's for the betterment of society.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's one of the things, isn't it? It's just like the idea that you need to wait for like these people to die off, basically, before you can get to that point. Like, it's not even about can we persuade them enough? It's like, no, just a certain amount of people need to die off. That's kind of it.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me? I'll tell you a very small version of something I thought was pretty futuristic because there'd been such a large gap between my experience with it, which is the library. Yeah. Right? When I used to go to I've rediscovered the library in the last year, right?
Yeah.
And I go a lot now. When I used to go there, I was probably about, 12 or 13. So the process obviously was you get your books from the shelf, you take them up to the desk with your library card. They scan your card, they scan the books, put them in a bag. That's how you rent a book.
Yeah.
But now, when I went back there, I was like, this is such a futuristic way that they've done it.
Yeah.
There's kiosks.
They scan your mind. And they pull out the book that you were thinking about renting.
It's close enough. I had a pile of books that I wanted to rent. And they said, hold your card up. And and it scanned it for me.
Yeah.
And they said, put your books on this. I put all my books on that, as a pile.
Yeah.
It went, yeah, we got them all.
Yeah. Oh.
There's no one-by-one scanning or anything. I don't know how it did it because not all of the barcodes were facing up or visible or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It just scanned them and knew which 10 books I wanted to borrow.
Yeah.
Instantly. Within a second was like, yep, cool, got them all, take them. And I was like, that is a very futuristic, compared to where it was when I last came here and where it is now. I'm sure, like I was saying with Apple, people saw progressions.
Yeah, yeah.
But to me, that's a huge leap to be like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I reckon I stood there for about 10 seconds being like, how to do that? I was looking around and there's no obvious laser scan things or anything. It's amazing.
It sounds like the start of a scam, though.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
Libraries.
Yeah, we've
in
got
this
it.
day and age sound like a scam.
Yeah, yeah.
All these are free? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I can read whatever I want for free? Yeah.
Yeah. Just bring it back.
Yeah.
Promise.
If you don't bring it back, you'll have a very small fine.
Yeah. You know,
but this is all the books. No, we'll keep getting new books. And they'll be free? Yes. I'm going to burn this place down.
Yeah. This makes me uncomfortable.
I'm going to pay you for the books.
Along that technology, I know there's something which it would be interesting to see if it becomes much more available and apparent, because I know there was some stores and I think they were like Amazon stores. I want to say I have no idea.
With no registers.
No registers.
Yeah.
You walk in, it identifies you. You take things off the shelf. You walk out of the store and it charges you for whatever you took.
And they were so confident with that I remember their policy was, if you walk out and we didn't charge you, have it.
Yeah, yeah.
They're that confident that it'll pick it up.
Yeah.
That they can lose whatever small thing you've taken without being charged. But being like, it's so rare that that'll happen that we'll just wear it.
Here's the thing though, Campo. If you just slide stuff past the door, you don't walk out with it. You just throw a bunch of frozen pizzas under the door.
Well, yeah. I
found the loophole again.
Yeah, I want to know the system, because obviously I believe you scan in with your phone as you enter, is the idea. So it's okay, Nelson is now in the store. And I suppose, it's also going, well, this has left the vicinity at the same time that Nelson's phone left the vicinity, therefore he took it.
Yeah, leave your phone in the store. Loophole number 2.
Or do you get a bunch of people all at once, 10 people, and you get your items and they surround you and you all walk through the scanner at once with the items and it'll be like, who brought what?
Yeah, it is. No, because I think part of it is also it tracks you in a camera when you're taking off the shelf as well. I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
which is so amazing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that can't work. Loophole number 3. Taking a ladder and a hammer and just smash those cameras. Take whatever you want out of the store.
Yeah. Wear a ski mask.
Yeah.
Bring a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of robbery.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of straight up robbery.
Yeah, they don't even have any cash. Who are you holding up? Anyway, loophole number 4 that was.
We didn't say they'll all be good.
Here's another one.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, because we've only done one Ask Reddit.
Well, have we?
Yeah. This is by Killer Q97. What are you sick and tired of hearing about?
That's the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're sick and tired of hearing about.
Sorry, I think because you were changing your inflection.
I was, yeah. It's
it
because
sounded
I was,
like half a sentence.
I'll tell you why. It's because I was thinking about what I had in my head for this question.
Oh, right.
Because I like to do that, especially with these ones that are way more specific about something. Which is, mine was, and I don't know if this is like, actually, I thought this was specifically Australian, but I don't think it is.
Flat whites.
And it's very, it's very specific. But what I hate hearing about is the government talks about the cost of living and how that impacts every little decision they make, even in the sense that it's so traditionally in Australia, what it's been about is like one side of the government is like, we want to raise taxes here. And then the other party will be like, no, well, that's going to raise the cost of living. And that's a real, pain point for people because the cost of living is too high.
Yep.
And it annoys me because it comes up so often because it's not really a good argument against potentially why you shouldn't raise taxes. Like if there is a legitimate reason on something, if
there is a benefit to all of this, it might be worth raising the cost of living.
In fact, not even that. Well, I think the thing is that it doesn't even raise the cost of living, so to speak. In fact, we had a carbon tax, right?
Yep.
And the whole thing was, if you're a big conglomerate that's putting all the carbon into the air, you're going to be taxed a lot. And maybe you might get taxed a bit if you're a regular person, sort of thing. I'm summarizing this in the worst way possible.
That's how they said it in Parliament.
Yeah, yeah.
And look, maybe you'll get taxed. I don't know. I haven't really thought of it.
And so the party that didn't want to tax the big conglomerates because they're in their pocket, obviously. Well, like, the cost of living is going to go higher for the regular people. And I'm just so sick of hearing that as like an excuse that politicians use to kind of almost fear people into...
Yeah. The on a similar line to yours, I suppose, the thing I'm sick of hearing about, this is not really what this question was positing, I know, but I'm sick of hearing the phrase, that's the way it's always been done, as if that's a way to keep doing anything.
Yeah.
Slavery was the way it had always been done for a while. That doesn't mean it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And there's a reason they changed it.
Yeah.
But you know that when they were, in fact, I say like it's not proven, there was a civil war about it.
Yeah.
Half the people are like, you can't, that was the way it's always been done.
Yeah,
but you're wrong. Like, you could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
So cost of living, I think, is that.
Yeah.
That cost of living is the way it's always been done, so it shouldn't change.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's right. Another one on that point of like another saying actually that I hate. People say,
Is this Ask Reddit what's a saying you hate?
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Which is sort of similar, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's the idea that, well, we can't change it, and that's what it is. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't just accept that shit.
There are some it is what it is that I will accept. The law of gravity, for example. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Very hard to change it.
Do you know what, though? I would, if somebody just proved that wrong one day, I'd be like, okay, they've proved it to be wrong. Turns out we're getting pushed down, we're not pulled.
But like the building blocks of the universe, right?
Yeah.
If someone said, you know what, that's just the way that genetic makeup is to make a proton or whatever, I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I see people doing it like
like social circumstance.
Yeah.
It isn't what it like.
I see people doing it at work all the time where there's like maybe a policy in place that dictates what people does, and it sucks. But people go, "No, it is what it is." Like, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
We can change this. If everybody says it is what it is, then it won't change, but it will make a lot of people suffer.
Along those lines, I'm sure that people will be like, look, if we could have changed it, I'm sure someone would have changed it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that logic holds water.
Yeah, so dumb. Anywho, let's get into Today Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. What's the intro to that? Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This Today I Learned is by OG Crypt Keeper. Today I learned Tommy Chong's daughter, Ray Dawn Chong, discovered actor Chris Pratt working as a waiter at Bubba Gump restaurant and cast him in a film. I've just realized that it doesn't say what film. Do you know what film? Who's Tommy Chong?
Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong.
Oh.
They were like a comedic duo in the 70s and 80s. The original like stoner duo.
Right. Okay, yeah, I have heard of them before,
Yeah. So Tommy Chong, look, I don't know what film it was. If Tommy Chong was producing, it probably wasn't like Citizen Kane. You know?
Yeah. Something.
I actually don't know. I know he got his start on a TV show called Everwood many years ago, in which he was also quite poor at that point. So it's probably somewhere around there.
Right. So now I've just realized that this is probably not as amazing as it sounds like, because
I think this is pretty standard.
Well,
Look, not every waiter will be like, hey, be in a film. But I'm sure she probably struck up a conversation with him. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm actually, I'm an actor as well. And she said, well, we've got an audition. Why don't you come on down?
Yeah.
I don't think she stood up and was like, I must have him in my film.
Yeah. That's true, because the thing is, probably in Hollywood or some, LA in some respect.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people trying to become actors, and they've all got part-time shitty jobs until they get the point. You could probably throw a dart and hit an actor in LA.
Yeah, he was probably serving up the food, and she's like, look, it's safe to assume you're an actor? He's like, obviously, yeah. And she's like, well, we're looking for someone roughly your build to be a small part. Why don't you come? Like, it doesn't seem that amazing.
Yeah.
And it's probably cheaper to do it that way. Don't go through a guild. Screen Actors Guild. That's expensive.
That's a scam. That's true. It's far less impressive. Do you reckon that just to stand out from the crowd as an actor, you've got just a waiting job? You just change your accent occasionally?
Okay.
People are like, this guy's got range.
Well, I would imagine that maybe you feign a fight. You walk out of the kitchen and go, well, I don't give a damn what you think. I won't do it. You walk up and you go, that was just pretend, actually. I'm available for roles, and put the food down. I'm like, that was very confusing. I was scared.
Yeah. That's true. Just a few scenes. They should do. Okay. Here's another idea. We start a restaurant in LA. We hire exclusively struggling actors.
I'm going to say that won't be hard.
Yeah.
We only want struggling actors. Oh, yeah. No, that's all you'll get. Even if you didn't want them.
Oh, there's too many of them. And what we do is we get them to put on performances just during the day, ad hoc, like, Few Good Men, put that, famous scene in there.
Yeah.
Just so it gets them exposure, but also it's just like kind of the catch of our restaurant. Like, oh, hey, you should go here. All the waitresses or waiters are actors, and you get a free kind of show. You can see how good they are.
Yeah. So, okay, the thing is, this concept does exist as like theater restaurants, but they're tacky.
Yeah, they're tacky.
We need to do this swanky LA producer frequented eatery.
Yeah.
Like the Ivy kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Make it classy, but have these performances as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the middle ground we need to strike. And
That's
then
true.
we'll be swimming in Chris Pratt's.
Oh my god, there'll be so many Chris Pratts around. Hopefully, Chris Pratt will be there.
He
What's
would need to
doing? He's
try
not
and get him to be the spokesman to be like, it works for me.
Yeah. Do you think that? I mean, I know that the like sort of theater performance restaurants exist, but never have I gone to one and for like the owners come up to me like, you can have one of those. I think that's a pretty interesting concept. It's like,
Okay, so I guess each actor in the cast / staff,
yeah,
I think they have a card, like a pile of cards at the front door with their information.
yeah.
So if you're a producer and you're looking to cast a movie, maybe a little cheaper than going through an agency.
Yeah.
You go to the restaurant, have lunch, watch a couple performances, and on the way, you pick up the cards of the people you're interested in.
Yeah, that's right.
How are we making the money?
Here's
Because we
the
need to
thing,
be
Cam.
making more money than a regular
Cam.
restaurant.
Cambo, it's a scam. Obviously.
Thank God.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So when we employ them,
Yeah.
we get them to sign a contract that is essentially we own them.
Yeah. It's a predatory contract that we're getting them to
As
sign.
like an agency kind of, we own them and their likeness.
the way to do this, I think, let's just speak a bit of shop here, but because obviously if you've got a predatory contract,
Yeah.
the last thing you want is for people to really read it.
Yeah, don't read it.
So let's say I'm giving them the contract to sign.
Yeah.
And I have some kind of signal in which point you make a huge ruckus in the room next door in some way that distracts them in some way. And I'm like, come on, I need this sign. Come on.
Okay.
And they can't concentrate on the contract. Stuff's going on over there. People are yelling. I'm telling him to hurry up. Sign. We've got him, Nelson.
It's good.
And
Can I
much
add
like our gym,
another
you can't
element?
cancel.
You can't cancel. We've put that in the contract. Okay. So can I add on top of that? Maybe we get a third party involved. Chris Pratt, maybe.
Yeah. He's got to diversify.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds has got into like phone companies and alcohol. He's
Yeah.
diversified.
Yeah.
Pratt's
Chris
leaning
Pratt.
too heavily on this Marvel franchise.
Into scamming.
That we're going to make him think maybe he isn't going to be around for that long. You better diversify.
Yeah. We'll get him to sign a contract. But I think what would be great is we've got
Just sign here, Chris. All right. Ah! What's all that? Don't worry about the noise. Sign it, Chris.
Just do it, sign it, Chris. Oh my god. But we've got 10 employees in the room.
Yep.
All with things in their hand and contracts in their hand, and we're trying to get them to sign it. And at that moment, Chris Pratt comes in. He's got the same contract in his hand, and he says, "Boys, this is the best contract that I've ever experienced in my acting career as Chris Pratt." He has to say it, just in case some people don't know.
Don't recognize
I
him.
was in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
He also says. And he says, "I've signed," and then he shows everybody his signature. And he says, "Here you go." And he hands it over to us. And then instantly, everybody's signing up. It's like, oh, if it's good enough for Chris Pratt.
That's what we say out loud.
Yeah.
As he hands it and go, wow, if this is good enough for Chris Pratt, he was in Parks and Recreations. We say.
Do you think you're better than Chris Pratt?
You think you're better than star of Jurassic World, Chris Pratt?
Oh my God.
I love it. This episode has been a real
Moneymaker.
money in the bank. This one. We'll have to put some kind of bookmark on this episode.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the gym thing is the winner. Though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mainly because I don't know how to get into contact with
this
Chris Pratt.
actor-filled restaurant
Yeah.
is it's our side hustle.
Yeah. When we're making millions from the gym, because we have millions of people signed up.
I've just realized the gym F45 has been partially brought and is now, I guess, the spokesperson of it is Mark Wahlberg.
Right.
They've done part 1 of our plan.
Right.
If they open up restaurants full of actors and Marky Mark's coming around saying he loves the contract,
Oh my God.
we know that we know our competitor.
Okay.
We know who we have to bring down.
Okay.
Because it does now seem, now that we've laid out our plans,
Yeah.
that this is exactly what the Jim F45 has been doing.
That's what they've been doing. Yeah.
God damn it, why didn't we see it? It was right there.
Okay. Business number 3, Kembo. We'll start this one first. An assassin business. Just kill Marky Mark. And then business number 4, protection agency. We protect Chris Pratt. He's key. He's key to this. Other businesses. Anywho. Okay, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts, shower thoughts.
This shower thought was cross-posted to us by It's Me, Christian, but it was originally by Ricky the Redditor. If every person on Earth died, then the internet would just be filled with bots posting random stuff.
It'd be interesting to see which websites were completely protected by those I'm not a robot captures.
Yeah.
There'd be certain websites that would just be untouched.
We'd never see anything from them. I think that it'd be interesting. I like the idea of a world where bots influence other bots. Like maybe that's how AI is created. At the moment, we think we're helping, but really we're just stopping or confusing the interaction between other bots. But if all bots just could only communicate to each other, maybe that's where AI is born.
Maybe what's keeping it back is the inefficiency and like honestly baffling nature of humans.
Yeah.
And robots like, I think I know what they're, and then they just do something different.
Yeah. And like, you know, we're upvoting like the Harambe memes or something, and the computer's like, I don't understand this, but apparently it's doing well. So
I guess they like gorillas. I'll show them this gorilla, and they're like, I'm not interested in this gorilla.
Not this gorilla. No, thank you. And so then the bots are confused by each other. But if they were just speaking to each other, then they would, you know, the things that would get posted is just like extensive scientific research that is going to enhance society. That's how we get a super AI. I'm putting it out there.
We're just in the way.
We're in the way. Business number 5. Kill off the world. I think that's like business number 3.
That will
that will
compete with our business number 4 because we'll be trying to kill Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And he'll be so well protected.
Yeah, I know. He'll be the only person alive amongst thousands, millions of computers. That's how it'll happen. Okay, this next one is by Jaboils. Dismissing love as just the brain releasing chemicals is the same as dismissing incredible video games as just zeros and ones flipping through silicon. Both are cynical and ignore the full picture.
Yeah, I think that's true enough. Like, yeah, it's because that is technically what happens. Doesn't make it any less miraculous.
Yeah.
Like, just even like color. Color is just pigments, you know?
Yeah.
And if you break it down to like, oh, that's a nice color. Oh, it's just a bunch of pigments.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but it gives you an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I disagree with this, actually.
Because video games are a bunch of zeros and ones, to be clear.
Yeah. Flipping. I don't disagree with that. That does make sense. That is accurate.
Yeah. But I don't think what they're saying is that these aren't accurate. It's to say that that's all it is. Undermines the idea that anyone can enjoy or puts value into it.
Yeah, but see, that's why I think, like, when it comes down to love specifically, like, I know it is very cynical because that's what it's saying, but I don't think of it in a bad way. When I say something like, oh, it's just the brain releasing chemicals.
Yeah.
I see it as more like something that you bring up to somebody that has gone through a breakup or something like that, you know? And you're like, it's just the brain releasing chemicals.
That's true.
And
it's not a wedding speech, is it?
And the and the idea that wouldn't want to bring this up at a wedding speech, but it's just the idea that like you can find that somewhere else because love wasn't the circumstance that you were in. Love is the release of chemicals in your brain. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it sucks that you've broken up with this person, whatever, gone through this horrible breakup, but you can get your brain to release those chemicals again. So, and it probably will because that's human nature. And that's kind of where I see the, like, I don't know, slight difference between
my point about this. Because I agree, love is a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know that many people that would necessarily dispute it.
Yeah.
But they're saying it like this is something that's said all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And if that is true, you're hanging out with the wrong people. I've
true.
certainly heard the saying. Mainly
yeah.
from like very cynical characters in TV shows and movies that you're not supposed to root for.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the ones being like, you're not in love, it's a chemical reaction. So the idea that like, I'm so sick of everyone saying that to me all the time.
Yeah.
I think you're surrounded by very negative people.
Yeah.
Because in my day-to-day, I think I got a pretty standard life.
Yeah.
People never say it to me.
And I don't think people, even those that do say it, I mean, I imagine really the question has been asked, what is love?
Yeah.
And a scientist has gone, I'm going to work that out.
Yeah.
And then they've said, oh, turns out it's the brain releasing chemicals. And we've all gone, that's interesting. And so only a few people have then turned that into, it's just the brain releasing chemicals. But I don't totally see it as, I don't think it can always be in a negative sense that this person is implying.
Well, isn't the idea, I think the key word is just. Love is just the brain releasing chemicals, as in there's nothing else you can attribute to it. But like love is a wonderful thing, right?
Yeah.
And the idea that it's just one thing, I think, I understand that maybe belittles it, but it is the brain releasing chemicals. Like, you just need to reckon with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And be okay with like knowing that that's why you feel the way you feel.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I'd argue, I've just realized, they've compared this with dismissing an incredible video game as just zeros and ones flipping through silicon. But that's not true either, because an incredible video game is actually related to chemicals releasing in your brain. Everything is.
Yeah.
Everything that we have an opinion on.
Every feeling.
It's not incredible because of the zeros and ones flipping through the silicon. It's incredible because of our interpretation of what that means.
Yeah.
And that is just chemicals releasing in our brain. So I think that he's comparing apples with oranges here. Yeah. Anyway, it's all chemicals in our brain. Don't do anything, take drugs. Take drugs is what I'm saying. That releases chemicals in your brain directly.
Yeah.
Don't faff about with trying to
play a video game.
Or court someone into being your mate. Just take drugs.
We've heard it here first, kids. I can imagine at some point we'll probably be in some kind of legal trouble in our future. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, but pulling excerpts from episodes.
Yeah.
And just the idea that we've now publicly told everyone, don't fall in love, don't play video games, go do some drugs.
Go do some drugs. So much easier.
Because then like that, they'll play that back. And I imagine we're both in the little booth together, like shoulder to shoulder. And we're like, obviously we have no defense to that. We did say that.
We did say that. Yeah. Accurate.
Yeah.
And you know what? Not wrong is what I'll say. While I'm on the stand.
Don't see what this has to do with our predatory contracts. I feel like you've just brought it up to smear our character, I'm going to be honest with you.
Look. We would like to call our first witness Chris Pratt. Anywho. I'll do one.
Just do a quickie.
Sure. Okay. This is Dad, Not Daddy. Said, online gaming is the only place as an adult you can talk shit to a child and no one does anything.
while dad, not daddy is correct,
Yeah.
that still doesn't mean it's okay.
I think it's totally fine. Gambo. So long as you're... Yeah, okay. Because here's the thing. Sometimes we turn out to the people that we are. Our social behaviors sort of evolve throughout our life, you know. And it might be because of things like we do something embarrassing or, you know, what, and we... that embarrassment is felt because the people around us sort of make us feel that embarrassment, right? And so then we know maybe not to do that next time, or, you know, just we learn the art of conversation by kind of stuffing up a lot, you know, and then we become better at it one night. So I'm saying, in this day and age where we've become a much more online, you know, a place, a culture, and the youth of today probably have had less social interaction than you or I have when we were that age because there's more online stuff. We need adults to yell at children.
You're saying
to help them develop in future.
The verbal abuse of minors online is the great equalizer for social...
Yeah.
What's the right word here? Social normalcy.
Yeah, exactly. They got to learn their stuff somewhere, Cambo. I may as well call them a shithead online.
Back in the old-fashioned days, we were called shitheads in real life.
In real life.
And it formed who we were.
I'm satisfied with the person I am now. I don't have any pent-up angst against yelling at children online.
Okay, so you're saying par for the course.
It's the necessary evil in the world, I think, you know? Like taxes. Nobody wants to pay taxes, but we
understand their function in society.
We need exactly.
You need to fund things.
They serve a purpose.
Yeah.
So
Also,
yell at kids online.
Some of those little twerps are out of line.
Some of these little twerps are out of line.
Calling you a noob.
Especially if they're teabagging you. Those little shits. You need to tell them that you wish their mother dropped them on their head when they were a baby. These are the things that you need to...
Yeah. Their mum, I imagine, will come up a lot.
A lot. Yeah. It's how you often real get to people.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Cambo, let's get into podnapping.
Oh my God, I'm being podnapped.
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another podcast, and we do it ourselves. This week, I actually had a suggestion again from Cousin Rowan. I'm pretty sure he gave me the last one too. It's great.
God, you do well out of him.
That's why I keep him around.
The day he stops suggesting podnappings, you'll drop him like a bad habit.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes when it's been a while since he suggested one, I just like to let him know that, you know, be like, hey, do you want to catch up? And I'll say, do you have any podnapping? He goes, no. And I'm like, no, I'm busy.
Yeah.
You know, just so he knows.
And I guess you've been busy since you haven't sent me any podnapping ideas as well. You must be pretty busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
With your kids and your family. It's just chemicals in the brain.
Excuse me. He's also given me another one too, which is great. He's gonna
go on in the bank. He's good for a month.
For a while. Yeah.
You'll be replying to his text for the next little while.
This one is pretty easy. It's called Dead or Alive. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to go through some actors, actresses, celebrities. Mm-hmm. And you're going to tell me if they are dead or alive.
Okay, yeah.
I think some of these are, you'll get, some are tricky.
Some are tricky. There was I forget who it even was the other day, but there was one that's came up the other day, and no one in my office could remember if they were dead or alive.
Yeah,
like it is a weird phenomenon.
Yeah, yeah.
As soon as they fall out of social, like their social profile drops, that you don't see them all the time. You're like, God, they could be anything.
Yeah, yeah. Admittedly, I found this hard to come up with some. I ended up going to like some websites that were like very specifically like people that you're surprised are still alive or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But because I was like, I don't know who to search. You know, it's weird to be like,
Yeah, it's like you just start searching every actor with the word dead next to them.
but you need to
Jeff
search.
Goldblum dead? No, okay.
Yeah, but it needs to be the ones that are like B grade or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the bigger ones, I'm like, well, I definitely
if
know.
Brad
I
Pitt
heard
dies,
about.
everyone knows Brad Pitt dies.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm like, what's just trying to think of B or C grade actors or that were at one point A grade. It's very difficult.
Even just actors that were big for a while and disappeared, they could be dead.
could be dead. Who knows? Okay, the first one is Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Good starting one. It's a good starting one. Yeah.
I don't think he's dead. I think he's alive.
Oh, you gonna commit to that? Or?
I'm gonna say alive.
He is alive.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Age 71.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very surprised about that. I mean,
I feel
it's
like
good.
I would have heard.
Yeah,
that
like
he
maybe
had
you would have,
died.
but then also like
Maybe I did hear that. Yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah, like it could have happened like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, when I've heard it, but I just don't know since or whatever. Anyway, okay, Jeff Buckley,
Dead.
dead. He is dead. That's an easy
That's
one.
a famous death because he died so young.
Yes,
He was he part of the 27 Club maybe?
And he died at the age of 30.
30, right? Okay, yeah.
Do you know how he died?
Drowned
Yeah,
in
that's
drowned
right.
in a river.
Because
Drunk?
no,
No.
very specifically, no drugs or alcohol in his system.
Okay.
Which I always found so interesting. Like this just seems like an actual horrible accident.
Right.
Somebody incredibly talented just died. Like it's the real shame. No like medical history or anything. It's just,
I know
drowned.
everyone loves Hallelujah. And rightly so, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
But Jeff Buckley, look up, there's a song from his album that he released after his death called Everybody Here Wants You. That's an absolute banger of a Jeff Buckley
Right,
song.
yeah. Also written by Leonard Cohen. He's just stolen his stuff.
It's just a cover up.
Yeah. Okay. I might need to tell you who this is because I don't know if you know, especially for people like me who wouldn't know the name. Florence Henderson. Do you know who that is? Off the top of your head?
Name sounds familiar.
It's Carol Brady from the Brady Bunch. The mum in the Brady Bunch.
Dead?
Dead. Heart attack at the age of 82.
Yeah, I feel like most of the Brady Bunch should be dead.
See,
I don't know why. They have that vibe
that's
of
kind
being
of why I
dead.
put that one in there because I was like,
She seems dead.
But also, they could all be alive.
They could
and
all
I
be
would
alive.
have no idea.
Like Betty White is alive, which is crazy.
yeah.
I hope she's not on the list.
Oh no. Yoko Ono,
She's alive.
and she is alive.
Yeah.
At the age of 88.
Thinking of her husband, famously dead.
Pretty old. Yes, true. I actually didn't even think she would be that old. 88, I suppose, makes sense.
Yeah, because it should be about the same age as Paul McCartney. He's getting up there.
It's just funny to think about, like Yoko Ono is like this sexy figure, and that was like why she was kind of so controversial. Broke up the Beatles, and then like this attractive woman coming in, and you're like, oh no, she's like old and wrinkly now.
So far, I think I've done all right in this.
Yeah, you've done very well. This one's a bit tricky. I probably shouldn't have put this one in here. Okay. Whatever. It's Luke Perry.
Okay, he's dead.
Okay, dead. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
He died recently.
90210 actor.
Yeah.
Dead at the age of 52.
Yeah, he died in, I think, 2018 or 2019. Very recently. It was before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was actually his last role.
Oh,
He's only in it a very little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that was his last on-screen role.
Died from a stroke. 52, so such a young age. John Aston. Now, he is Gomez Adams, as in the father of the Adams family.
The Adams family. I'm assuming the original or the one from the 90s movies? That's another question. There's two Gomez Adams.
From the, TV show.
So that would be the original. He must be dead?
Alive. At the age of 91.
Oh,
very old man.
Because like
but
they
alive.
remade the movies in the 90s with like Angelica Houston and I forget who played Gomez.
Right.
Yeah,
But
the
yeah, they
OG
were
Gomez
like,
still alive.
They
Wow.
were like black and white TV shows.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Everybody that was in a black and white TV show
Should be dead.
Evil Knievel.
Dead.
Yes, dead at 69. Do you know how he died?
I bet you it's not some awesome stunt.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was it?
Diabetes and respiratory issues.
It'll get you.
How depressing is that?
Yeah. It's
The
not.
coolest dude ever.
It's not. If you were Evel Knievel, I guess it's not how you imagined you would go out.
Yeah. Richard Van Dyke or Dick Van Dyke.
Alive.
Alive. He's guess how old?
Oh, very old. 95.
Exactly 95.
He's still performing. Like
Yeah,
he's
I
still
think I
going
did
right
see
now.
something
He
like
was
that.
in Mary Poppins Returns, just I guess like 2 years ago.
Right,
And he
yeah.
does a whole dance number.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it was CGI. And they're like, no, that's Dick Van
Yeah,
Dyke.
yeah.
He did the dance number.
It's weird that he actually kind of still looks youthful in a
Yeah,
weird
he
way.
doesn't look
Like,
95. He
yeah,
looks
doesn't
old.
Look 95. Yeah,
He
yeah,
looks
yeah.
maybe 70.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Dame Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury.
Do you know who this
Yeah.
is? So for people out there, and this is how I recognized her, is that she was the main actor in Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
For quite many years. I remember coming home from school.
Yeah.
It was on TV. Or maybe if you had like a day off, I think. That was the TV show Murder,
Yeah,
She
yeah,
Wrote
Murder,
in
She
the
Wrote.
middle of the day.
Angela Lansbury.
And she was old in those TV shows. Just like,
Is she dead?
alive. Up there with Dick Van Dyke, 95
Oh,
years old.
good on her.
Yeah. Dustin Diamond,
Dead.
dead.
That was
People
also
aren't gonna know
fairly
who that is,
recently,
though.
Dustin Diamond.
So, right, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, might have been. So just because people probably don't know this, he played the role of Screech in Saved by the Bell.
Yep.
He had cancer, died at the age of 44.
Yeah.
Sucks.
It is. There's some really like odd sitcom people that have died. I don't know if you remember that 70s show.
Yeah.
But the main character, Eric, had an older sister, blonde older
Yeah,
sister.
yeah.
And she died many years ago of like pretty horrendous like drug overdose.
Oh, wow.
And it's so weird to see like she's just on such a family-friendly sitcom.
Yeah.
Amongst these other people that are like Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher and that one guy that's a rapist now that have like become quite famous, to think like it's so weird that she died before any of them were even that famous of like this horrible trouble, but she gets forgotten in history.
Yeah. It is, it's pretty crazy, that sort of stuff. I think it's interesting actually, like how much, like I'm surprised not more people are on drugs or like dying of overdoses in Hollywood, because like I remember listening to Robin Williams once talking about how he said you get to a point of fame and he's like, you don't buy drugs. Drugs are given to you.
Yeah.
You don't, he's like, there's no sort of concept of needing to buy them, whatever. And Robin Williams, you see, is this like super family friendly guy. You know, a lot of his films were for kids and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, he's just doing tons of drugs during that time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you watch his stand up and you're like, this man is clearly on cocaine.
This makes sense. Yeah.
He can't finish a sentence.
Yeah.
He's just always running around.
Yeah. One last one here for you, Camber.
Yep.
Elvis Presley.
Well, this is debated. Can I say officially?
You say what you want to say.
Officially, he was declared dead.
Nah, wrong. Yeah, sorry. He's alive and well. Just met him the other day.
Officially declared dead in 77? I think I got that right.
I didn't even put information on this. Because he's alive.
Yeah, obviously
So-
because he's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still in Vegas he's on the strip there.
If anyone wants to watch just a bit of a bizarre movie, there's a movie called Bubba Hotep that came out several years ago about Elvis was sick of the fame and he switched with an Elvis impersonator who then died and now lives out the rest of his life in a retirement home.
Yeah.
And no one believes that he's really Elvis. And he's also friends with someone that claims to be JFK.
Yeah.
Who also was not assassinated and had his race changed, so he's now a black man. And they fight a mummy. So cool. If that combination of things sounds good to you, Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, okay. Sounds great. But that was it for my podnapping. Now we can get into the AMA, the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Got one skipped right to the head of the queue here, Nelson.
Oh,
From Dory.
okay.
Said, hey guys. Seems a bit informal.
She can do whatever she
She
wants.
can do whatever
now.
she wants.
Yeah.
It's
There are
there's-
no rules.
There's something nice about not being called a cunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
First off, I should say that I've decided to start courting Hallie so that she can capitalize on the loophole fuckhead podcast listener privilege. Don't tell her I'm still in the planning stage. On another note, I've mostly written in to say that I've finally done it. Somehow I've managed to get through every single episode of Reddit on Reddit. Truth be told, you guys have made some very difficult work days manageable, so thanks for that. The final episode was called Danny DeVito Gives Us Boners, and I can't think of a better way to go out than that. Now, before we get to her question,
Yeah.
Dory, if you can just let us know which was the best one,
Yeah.
because obviously we need to put our best foot forward with new listeners.
Yeah.
And
We
we
need to
don't know
let
which
them
one
know.
is the best.
You know what? Rank them. If you could rank them.
Which is the best, which is the worst.
Yeah.
Obviously, let's take it as read that the special episode with P and Me, Your Tits Girl, is the worst.
That's the worst.
We know what's the second worst. She continues. That leads me to my question. What do I listen to now? After a year and a half of Reddit on Reddit being my go-to podcast, it will be so odd only listening to one episode a week. Thanks, guys. I hope you both have lovely days. Dozer, fuckhead podcast listener.
Oh, well, we could release 2 episodes a week, Cambo.
Obviously, there's the very clear answer, which is cancelled movie report.
Yeah.
The other podcast.
Yeah, don't do
that I
that.
do.
Though. Don't do that.
New season dropping May 3rd.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, no, it's May now, June 3rd.
May 3rd. Late.
We're
already.
late.
So
We're
late.
going to be exactly 1 month late on June 3rd.
Yeah, cancelled movies is definitely up there. It's a great one.
I would say there's a couple of answers. One is Escape This Podcast. Good friends of ours.
Escape This Podcast. It's
It's
great.
very bingeable. I go through like ebbs and flows of just like binging their show,
Yeah.
which I don't know whether that's bad for their analytics.
yeah, it's fine.
But
They're doing way better than us, so I think
yeah,
they're fine.
yeah. But I have
Because
been
obviously
listening,
everybody compares themselves with us.
but I have been listening to their latest season, and their latest season is really good.
Yeah.
I would say that. Or if you enjoy Aussie comedy,
Yeah.
there is the people that we get sometimes referenced to, which is Hamish and Andy.
Yeah.
Lesser known in the United States. But if you're looking for some pretty easygoing comedy podcast, they're probably one of the best as far as is like they've got about 100 episodes on their podcast of their current show, but they also have an app which has every radio show they ever did. I think it's about $4 a year, and you get about 1,000 shows on that as well. Like
right.
it's they've got a huge back catalog.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say welcome to Patchwork. I was going to say how dare you.
I never would. In fact, don't listen to them. Don't listen to any of their series or any of their special guests, inclling Andy Lee from Hamish and Andy that they've had on.
Yeah. You should write into them and tell them that you haven't and won't listen. That would be that'd be great. I have I'm just going through sort of my list of stuff that I occasionally listen to. One that I always go back to as like an easy listener thing is No Such Thing as a Fish.
Oh yeah, that's good.
That's always great one. So they just talk about sort of interesting topics. They actually came from the show Quite Interesting.
Yeah. QI, yeah.
They're all the QI. People know that as better as QI. Yes, good point. They kind of go into the research of like certain topics and things and just find like crazy, weird, interesting facts about stuff. That one's always really interesting.
I'm gonna recommend another one if you don't mind. Maybe we'll go tit for tat.
Okay.
There is a podcast. This is a bit of a difficult one. At the moment, it's called Finding Desperado, but there's 2 seasons of it, and the original is called Finding Drago. Again, it's an Australian podcast. It's about 2 people that find a book online about Drago from the Rocky movies, like some weird book that's been written about it.
Yeah.
And the whole podcast is them trying to find the author, and it becomes one of the most bizarre, intricate, twist-filled things you'll ever listen to.
Yeah.
It's very, very funny. So it's
Okay.
called Finding Drago is season 1, Finding Desperado is season 2. But they're
Okay.
both technically listed under Finding Desperado.
Okay. One, actually, these are friends of Bill and Danny who do the Escape This podcast. They do a podcast called the Finish It podcast.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And they're two brothers, and they go through choose your own adventure books, like kid choose your own adventure book. It's like a really bizarre podcast, but in just like by definition of a podcast, this seems like it wouldn't fit, but it's actually quite interesting, and they just sort of go through all the
It's very well done.
Yeah. They just go through very different books, and then they kind of re-go through the book until they've gone through sort of every answer, and I think that's always really interesting.
Yeah.
So they've got quite a lot of episodes too, I think.
I've got one last one, which is, I don't even know if this is still running, so it's not the biggest back catalogue, but if you're interested at all in films, it's called I Was There Too, and it's hosted by Matt Gawley, and he interviews people that just also happen to be on set for very famous movie moments that have happened.
Right.
So he's interviewed like a couple of people that were in Star Wars, but like not main people. They were just kind of around the set.
Yeah.
He interviewed, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Untouchables, but there's a famous scene in a train station. A pram goes down the stairs during a shootout. He interviews the woman whose pram it was that went down the stairs. Like just things like that. Just people that were they were there too.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that classic thing. Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah.
And it's this weird like outsider perspective from very famous movie moments. It's quite funny. He interviews all the passages of the bus from Speed.
All right. Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
That's a guy that really wanted to interview celebrities and then realized it was super hard to get hold of them. So I'll just go to the older people.
He did interview kind of recently the guy that played Jar Jar Binks in all the Star Wars prequels.
All right.
Phew,
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
That poor man.
Yeah.
He didn't write it, but he got blamed for it.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Okay. Here's another email. This is by Vamp. Oi, podcast cunts.
There it is.
I would like to denounce both Reddit on Reddit and Dory's testimony during her induction into the group of fuckhead podcast listeners. In hearing Dory accuse me of being an instigating factor into the creation of the Reddit on Reddit podcast. This is untrue. I was told via Discord DM by one of the conspirators they would like to write an email to the Reddit on Reddit podcast. However, you can't not write an email without an email address to write to. So I did procure the email address Reddit podcast. Here's what I like to say is, I don't know if you skating on thin ice when you start hammering it to the fuckhead podcast listeners.
Vamp, let us put it this way. Mm-hmm. You have no formal allegations against you at the moment.
Yeah.
But let's just say you're not coming off sounding as innocent
Yeah.
as perhaps you think you do.
Yeah. Dory is in the circle of trust. And so...
And you know what? She got there
Yeah.
by admitting what she did
Yeah.
and apologizing.
Yeah.
See, if you want to enter the circle,
Yeah.
you know the step that needs to be taken.
No email address or podcast is complete without a logo, so I just used a photo editor. Oh, you created the logo as well.
By the way, we didn't know that, I don't think.
Yeah. I merely took these steps as requested by the primary conspirators. Okay. Okay.
What's happened is a bank has been robbed.
Yeah.
We've got the perps, and you've run around the corner and said, I also wasn't involved in this.
Yeah.
And then now immediately we're going, maybe this person is more involved than once we thought.
Yes. You asked folks to write in requesting Aussie nicknames. I'd love to receive one, either an Aussieization of my screen name, Vamp de Bigod, or my real name, N. Yes, that is my real name. N.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Australians will abbreviate things to their shortest version.
It's hard to.
N is pretty much there.
Pretty hard.
We have a big stadium here called the Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Yeah.
It's shortened to the MCG.
Yeah.
But it's not. We call it the G.
Yeah.
And your name is the G. That is the shortest version that we could get, which is in itself probably the most Aussie name you can have.
Yeah.
So I would say congratulations. You have a very Aussie name.
You've done it already.
The only thing that would be more Aussie is if it was a really long name that was shortened to G. To N, sorry.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of the MCG.
It's okay. I totally understand.
Yeah. We often think of it
A lot of
day.
Australians just will catch themselves thinking of the G. Anyway, he signs it up. I've really got nothing other than that. You've summed it up perfectly. Vamp is very difficult.
The single syllable nature of
the
single syllable nature of both of your names
Yeah.
lends very well to an Aussie nickname.
Yeah.
Like Vampo maybe, but that
Vampo.
that doesn't sound organically like a
Vampo. Yeah, I reckon you're right.
Yeah.
Vampo.
yeah.
Vampza? Doesn't. Just terrible. Anyway, signs it off. Vamp and Demigod Fuckhead podcast listener. Cambo Facts Informant. United States of Cambo correspondent. Currency conversion correspondent. Reddit on Reddit podcast correspondents Inc. Former first breadhead. Former M. Campbell statistics source.
Gave up on that.
Don't remember what that was about. Former USC reporter. Former currency exchange reporter. Is that because? So he said former currency exchange reporter. Is that because the one like
stole
2 weeks, like 2 weeks
Oh,
ago, I converted my currency?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Can I test the water?
Yeah.
Often claimed to be the Cambo Fact Informant. And we take that as read.
Yeah.
I just want to test the water, see if we can find out what my pants waist size is.
Oh.
Bit of information I think only I, possibly you, would know.
Take a stab, I
I
guess.
don't think it's publicly available.
Yeah.
N.
Yeah.
Aussie nickname.
Yeah. Vampo.
Vampo. If you can get back to me with what my waist pant size is,
Yeah.
I just want to know if you're right.
Even one better. Buy a Cambo pair of pants.
Send them. And if they're not the right size, we need to talk about your role.
I would also like to request more work as currency conversion correspondent. You said former, so, and honestly, not like there's not much.
Yeah.
We don't need.
We don't. Here's the thing: converting currency is such a rush that we don't want to overdo it and stimulate people too much.
Yeah.
We really need to parcel out currency conversions across every couple of episodes.
Yeah, we don't want to be too good.
Yeah.
I think Stacey's skill is very impressive, and I would like to request more podnappings featuring her and her Simpsons-related talents.
We would love that.
Yeah,
And she will begrudgingly probably come on.
Yeah. We should just pretend that like we need her on for something else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a different podcast segment.
And
we just go through Simpsons episodes again. I would like to request we must insist that you cease and desist t-shirt with the Reddit on Reddit podcast logo on it with a large red X through it. So I can wear it to proclaim my loyalty to Reddit on Reddit over Reddit on Reddit.
I found the PSD of the you know why just yesterday. Actually,
Oh, okay.
it was on my work computer for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Clearly, I did that at work.
Yeah. So look out for that t-shirt.
Yep.
Like eventually.
Eventually, within the week. Weeks.
The title sections keep getting longer, so I'll probably cut off all the formers next time. Sure, great. As of right now, I'm claiming both the correspondencies and the role of my informant in myself. Yeah, okay.
I would suggest, Vamp, make a small hyperlink with all of your credits listed somewhere on the internet.
Yeah.
And then you can just sign off with "See my credentials here."
Yeah.
And we can click through if needed.
I mean, we will never click it, but you could do that.
You could do it.
Anyway, thanks for writing in, Vampo and Dozzy.
And thanks.
Is that what we? called?
Dozer.
Dozer. Yeah. If you would like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast, gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. It's all READIT podcast. We'd also love it if you could subscribe if you're not already and rate us.
Yeah. Us as people.
Us as people. What do you reckon? 0 to 10. But not individually, because then we'll fight about it.
Yeah,
so rate us
as a duo.
But not in relation to the podcast. It's very...
We can't make it more clear than that.
Anyway, thanks for listening, and we will read you later.